good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Sawyer Center for today's basketball matchup in the GAC featuring the Southern Nazarene Crimson Storm and the East Central Tigers. Hello, everyone. James Hill here on the call with you this afternoon. My partner, Russell Frisbee, will join us here in just a moment. We should have a great doubleheader on hand here today. We'll have the women kicking it off at 1 p.m., followed by the men, scheduled for around 3 p.m. But we'll lead it off with the women today. SNU, finally, it's been 280 days since this team has played a home game, a regular season home game in the Sawyer Center. And finally, on December 1st, after a 5-game road trip, maybe one of the toughest in the nation, Southern Nazarene is finally home, and they welcome in the Tigers of East Central. And as I welcome in my partner, Russell Frisbee. And Russell, I mean, first, it's just it's nice to have this team home.
It is. You know, 5 games away and December, you know, you think about a season opener at home, definitely not a December thought, but excited to have the ladies here at the Sawyer Center. Maybe get a little momentum from this home crowd and get this season turned around a little bit.
As we said, the Crimson Storm coming in with an 0-5 record, but as we've mentioned, maybe one of the toughest schedules in the nation thus far. Started a year with a loss to the #1 team in the nation at the time and defending national champion Central Missouri, before falling to number 24 Augustana, both on the road in Missouri. They fell to number 3 Lubbock Christian on the road, and then fell to a St. Mary's team that beat the #1 team in the nation on the road. Then they opened GAC play on Thursday, held an 11-point lead at halftime, but eventually fell in Alva to a tough Northwestern squad, 63-54. And that brings us to today, where they welcome in East Central. And as we look at this squad, Russ, defensively, it seems like it's been there defensively. They've been a very a good team. They are holding opponents around the low 40s in shooting, holding them to only 35% from behind the arc, holding them to only 64 points, which is respectable. But what's been the struggle so far has been on the offensive end. And this SNU squad is going to have to find some offense.
Yeah, like you said, defensive positives have really been there, but offensively, the Storm have really struggled to put the ball through the hoop. You know, a great start to the season for Abby Nehus, really getting great play down there in the post, but you can't put all of the attention on her, and you really need some improved guard play in order to really free things up for her, and that just has not come along so far for the Lady Storm.
And you mentioned Nehus. The perfect example is that Northwestern game. She scores 15 points in the first half, just has her way in the paint. And then on the other end, Northwestern in the second half adjusts. They do everything they can to deny Abby and let the guards beat them. And what ended up happening was 15 turnovers and a really tough shooting second half. So when Nehus isn't there, they're going to have to find some help. And I think where it's going to start is going to have to be Adrian Berry, last year's All-GAC second team.
Absolutely. You know, I think Nehus is going to bring you double-double kind of nights day in and day out. But where it really is going to happen, like you said, those halftime adjustments, teams come out, they're trying to adjust to that height. You need to be able to find ways, especially around the perimeter and driving, to beat them away from Nehus, and that's going to give her opportunities in the second half to continue her dominance.
Nehus, as we look at it, she's averaging 11.2 points per game on the season, only one in double figures right now, 6.8 rebounds, already 16 blocks on the season and only 5 contests, just a little bit over 3 a game. Not only does she do an unbelievable job in the post offensively, but where she really shines is on that defensive end. Adrian Berry comes in 8 points a game. She was around 14 last year, missed the season early on, had a little bit of a concussion, so missed the first game and played sparingly in that second contest against Augustana. So they're going to really need a big game from her. You also have Casey Glover, the freshman, at 6.6 points per game. Kennedy Gillette with 6 points a game as we go down the list. As we look at the East Central Tigers, boy, they're going to have a tough task today. This Tiger team comes in. They are 0-1 in the GAC, 3-2 overall. East Central, though, took on SWASU, Southwestern Oklahoma State, one of the top teams in this conference, led by Haley Tucker. And East Central gave them all they could handle, only losing by 3 in that contest. And it's going to start with Lakin Pressner.
Yeah, I looked down that ECU box score there, and just the high scoring is something that SNU is going to have to really contend with, and really consistency. 5 in, 5 out, 5 games so far, 5 of the same starters. And when we look back at SNU, Trent May, just a tough start to the beginning of the year. 5 different starting lineups, a lot of inconsistency, trouble on the, like you said, some injury issues for Adrian Berry. But trying to figure out what needs to work here for this team, and maybe some consistency here is what they need.
And as you mentioned, this East Central's team, you look at one side who is struggling to score. This may not be the type of team you want to match up with. East Central's averaging almost 89 points per game. They have a plus 13 scoring margin, shooting 55% from the field, 42% from behind the arc. Struggle a little bit more at the free throw line, only at 64%. They also have the rebounding advantage, just about a 1 rebounding advantage at 31.8, and then 16 assists a game. While only turning it over 12 times a game. They have a +5 advantage in turnovers. So if you're looking at SNU, not only do you have to find some offense, but you got to do a better job of taking care of the ball. 24 turnovers in that Northwestern game. Trent May in the post game said just absolutely unacceptable. And if they want a chance against the Tigers today, they better keep those turnovers down.
Yeah, clean play on offense, and the points will come. But really, defensively, ECU wants to come into this game and turn it into a shootout. You know, if this becomes a scoring epidemic, that's going to be in ECU's favor. So SNU, clean play on offense, but continue that defensive pressure and try to stifle this East Central offense that's so used to high-scoring games.
As we said, Preston are the leading scorer, 17.8 points per game. Shooting percentage probably a little bit lower than we expect. Comes in 44% from the field, only 33% from behind the arc. 8.4 points per game for Stephanie Lorenko. Then you have Madison Rell at 7.4 per game. Sam Schwab with 7.4 points per game. And Tia Williams with 7.2 points per game. So it should be an interesting matchup here this afternoon. We're getting very close to tip-off. Starting lineups are going to come out here shortly. For now, though, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will get you those starting fives from both sides and get you ready for tip-off from the Sawyer Center featuring Southern Nazarene and East Central. You are watching SNU basketball here on SNUathletics.com. Back here at the Sawyer Center, we are getting ready for tip-off here. We will pause for the national anthem and shoot it to the PA announcer for the starting lineups. Tip-off coming your way shortly between Southern Nazarene and East Central. Just keep.
Of East Central University and your Southern Nazarene University Crimson Storm. At this time, we ask that you please rise for a word of prayer and then remain standing for the playing of our national anthem. Father, we are grateful for today, for the sunshine, for the beautiful weather, for the opportunity to be here and to enjoy this competition. We thank you for the talents and the gifts that you have given these ladies. We pray, Father, that you would help them to play this game to the best of their abilities. But more important than that, God, May everything that's said and done in this room today bring you glory and honor. And it's in your name we pray. Amen. Thank you. Now for today's starting lineups. First, for the visiting Tigers of East Central University. Starting at guard, a 5'9" freshman from Mountainburg, Arkansas, number 0, Hannah Ladd. Starting at guard, a 5'9" senior from Americus, Kansas, number 1, Lakin Preisner. Starting at guard, a 5'6" sophomore from Edmond, Oklahoma, number 3, Madison Reno. Starting at guard, a 5'6" junior from Sao Paulo, Brazil, number 11, Stephanie Lorenko. And starting at forward, a 6-foot junior from Choctaw, Oklahoma, number 21, Macy Hansen. Tigers are head coached by Matt Cole. And now the starting lineups for your SNU Crimson Storm. Starting at guard, a 5'9" freshman from Fort Gibson, Oklahoma, number 1, Casey Glover. Starting at guard, a 5'8" sophomore from Burleson, Texas, number 5, Alexis Jones. Starting at guard, a 5'11" senior from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, number 10, Adrian Berry. Starting at forward, a 6'2" sophomore from Mustang, Oklahoma, number 14, Abby Mehus. And starting at guard, a 5'10" sophomore from Edmond, Oklahoma, number 22, Kennedy Gillette. In his first season at his alma mater, Crimson Storm head coach, Mr. Trent May.
And we are set to go here at the Sawyer Center. SNU getting ready to battle with East Central in case you missed those starting lineups. For East Central, 0, Hannah Ladd at guard. Number 1, Lakin Pressner at guard. Number 3, Madison Rell at guard. Number 11, Stephanie Lorenko at guard. And at forward, number 21, Macy Hansen. We talked about those different lineups. Well, it's the same lineup from Thursday for Southern Nazarene. Casey Glover, the freshman from Fort Gibson at guard. You have Alexis Jones, the sophomore guard from Burleson. You have number 10, Adrian Berry, the senior guard from Oklahoma City. You have the center, number 14, Abby Mehus, the sophomore forward from Mustang. And then finally you have the sophomore guard from Edmond, number 22, Kennedy Gillette. Russ, what are going to be some keys to this game as we get ready for tip-off?
Well, early on, obviously, talking about post play with Mehus, how is ECU going to contain her early, as that seems to be some of the other teams' issues? And then how will SNU respond offensively to ECU's high-scoring offense?
We are set It's going to be Nehus winning the tip over Hansen, and SNU will start with the ball. Alexis Jones bringing it down at point guard. Man-to-man defense early on from East Central. It'll be Barry with it. Over to Gillette at the free throw line. Gillette drives, pull-up jumper. Back iron, no good. Fights for the rebound, but it comes down to Pressner, and we're going to get a turnover. Looks like Pressner may have been on the line. So an early turnover for SNU.
Yeah, good hustle there by number 22. Gillette got her hand in there, I think, but it's going to be an inbound play for SNU.
Gillette with it, going to go inside to Glover. Glover, nice pump fake, puts up the easy layup. Great find by Gillette, and SNU scores the first 2 points of the game.
Yeah, great look off the inbound play there is everything you need to get going here early in the first quarter.
Rell's going to get it to Lorenzo. Lorenzo with it, top of the arc. And driving will be Rell. Rell goes, it's blocked. I believe Barry got a piece of it, and she's fired up after that block, and it'll be an inbounds as a win out for East Central.
Great defensive play there by the Storm.
East Central set to inbound. Ladd's got to hurry, finally gets it in. It's going to go out to Hansen, going to go all the way to Rell. Rell going to drive, gets it over to Pressner. Pressner backs it back out, 5 seconds on the shot clock. Great defense here by SNU. Pressner's still stuck. Now she'll send it inside. Rell with the cut to the basket, and she lays it in as the buzzer sounds. Good cut there by Rell.
Oh, that's tough there. SNU had him locked down what looked like it was going to be a shot clock violation, but the backdoor cut working out there for ECU.
Jones going to come off a screen from Gillette. Jones back to Gillette. Gillette thought about the three. They're giving her space. They go to Glover. Glover back to Alexis Jones. Jones looking to drive, and they're going to get her for a push-off. You can see it from here, just pushed off of Rell there, and a turnover for the Crimson Storm.
Ball not in there yet, but this Macy Hansen, Abby Nehus matchup is the one I'm watching down there in the paint. They've been wrestling, fighting down there. The ball's not been entered into the post yet, but that's one I want to be watching here early.
Pressner with it. It's at the Lawrence Center. Oh, a big block there by Abby Nehus. She had 6 in the game on Thursday, and she's got 1 there. Jones with it at the wing. We'll get it to Glover. Glover back to Jones, trying to get inside to Nehus. She's going to go cross-court, dangerous pass. Barry comes up with it. She'll take a three-pointer. Front iron, no good. Rebound to Rell. Rell gets double-teamed for a moment. Back the other way comes East Central. They'll get it forward to Ladd. Ladd in the corner. Going to dribble it out and gets it over to Rell. They'll move it around the three-point line. Hansen at the wing. Gets it back to Ladd. Ladd drives to the free-throw line. Leaves it for Lorenzo. And again, good defense here by SNU. They're going to go inside to Hansen with Nehus defending. Hansen kicks it back out. Three-pointer for Rell. Off the front iron, no good. Long rebound to Gillette. Gillette now running the other way.
Good aggressiveness there. I don't know, though, that Hansen was really looking to put the ball in the hoop. Kind of passed out there, and a good look at the corner, but maybe a different story if she's able to get towards the basket. A hard pick there in the middle of the floor. And it's going to be a travel on SNU now going the other way as another tough offensive possession for SNU.
Yeah, as I said, Barry with it. Tried to make a move and gets called for the traveling violation. So back the other way comes East Central.
A couple of good high-energy momentum shifting plays here on defense for SNU, but not translating to the other side of the floor yet.
Wide open three-pointer for Hannah Ladd. She knocks it down. A little inside-out game. Hansen making the move inside and finding the open man in the corner, and East Central takes a 5-2 lead. So 5-2 your score. Barry with it. We'll get it back from Gillette. Barry at the wing. We get a foul off the ball. I believe that's going to be either on Hansen or Lorenzo. And it'll be on Hansen. Macy Hansen, the 6-foot junior out of Choctaw, picks up her first foul. You know, if you're SNU, you want to maybe try to get her in a little bit of foul trouble early on.
Yeah, and they've got a couple of height options there, maybe with Sam Schwab coming off the bench and kind of a sixth-man post roll. But the way that they contain Nehus is going to be key here. And if they lose Hansen, that could be a major storyline moving forward. As a big block there by ECU.
Yeah, as Gillette goes up hard, Hansen sends it back. Pressner's going to go in the corner. Lorenzo for 3. After back iron there and no good. Rebound to Adrian Barry. Back the other way comes Jones. Jones going to slow it up now. Jones will go to Glover. Top of the arc. Glover looking to drive. Pulls it back. Goes to Jones. They're going to reset. Barry now with it at the wing. 5-2 your score here in the early going. They'll go to Jones in the corner. Jones not much of a shooter from the outside. Passes on the option back to Barry. SNU down to 8 seconds on the shot clock. Adrian Barry off a screen. She'll take a three-pointer. It is good. Adrian Barry on the board off the screen from Abby Nehus.
Great piece there. SNU really doing well out of the set half-court offense and the inbound play there early, but I think slowing it down is really going to be the key. ECU trying to get out and run, and that has not boded well for SNU.
Hansen misses the three-pointer. Long rebound going to come to Lorenzo. Good fight there from Madison Rell to get it. And Pressner's going to take a three, and that is the person you do not want to leave open. As it's 8-5 now, East Central. Jones will get it to Gillette. Gillette will drive, kicks it to Jones. Jones, the Glover, she's open top of the arc for three. That one is good. And SNU ties the game at 8 apiece.
A couple of big threes here from SNU. Got the offense rolling now. Knotted up at 8-8. Now into the post here. Abby Nehus versus Hansen.
Yeah, that's been the good matchup so far. Driving now is Rell. Rell looking for Preston, almost taken away. Preston now open for three. She's got another look, and she's good again. They're going to have to get a hand on Lakin Pressner. She has 6 points here in the early going.
Turning into a three-point contest here at the Sawyer Center. Both teams out and shooting well.
Absolutely. Back the other way comes Jones. Right now, it is Adrian Berry. She steps back for three, and she puts it down. Adrian Berry ties it at 11.
SNU finding some set shots and a little bit slower from the half court, while ECU getting some transition threes, but nonetheless, both teams shooting very well from outside.
Going back up and blocked, at least for a moment, but on the hands is Abby Nehus, and that's going to send Hansen to the line. That's going to be our first timeout of the game. 4:41 to play in the first. Your score, Southern Nazarene 11, East Central 11.